out a new streaming setup, so I've been getting lots of great feedback that the audio is sometimes not working, sometimes is working. I'm now just I'm ignoring OBS. I'm just streaming with the audio from this camera. So if there's problems, we have bigger problems. But I also have this cool audio feed coming in that should be giving me some background music to make this a little more interesting to watch and listen to. If you can hear that, let me know in the chat, or otherwise I'm going to watch this later on to hopefully keep improving on this process. That's what's fun about the iterative process, is it hopefully keeps getting better. And today we're going to be playing around with custom avatars, taking the ReadyPlayerMe interoperable metaversal avatar that works on a lot of platforms and doing some quick customizations so that your Mozilla Hubs avatar actually has a body. A lot of feedback and complaints that I've gotten is that people like the full-bodied or close to full-bodied avatars of like VR chat, even though the feet aren't doing anything. And they don't like it when it's the half bodies of like Altspace or Rec Room or Mozilla Hubs. So this is just a way to quickly take a free avatar from ReadyPlayerMe and change the body. Hopefully, we'll find out. So I'm gonna try some overlay stuff, starting out with my web browser to show readyplayer.me, free website. Anybody can go and get an avatar. And what I'll do is, if you go to readyplayer.me, you can log in with your email address. They'll send you a code just to verify that it's your email, and then you can enter hub to log in. And I'll start at the beginning of the process. I hope to just make an avatar. Let's see, create a new avatar. Perfect. Choose your body type. I won't specify. You take a photo. I'm not sure it's going to register this camera, so I'm just going to pick a file. I can grab any picture of myself. If you're an actor, you might have a headshot. So I can accept that and throw it in. And it's going to analyze that photograph and try to turn it into an avatar. Hello, folks in the chat. I see you there. Thanks for joining. We are customizing an avatar, hopefully. Cool, and this is the avatar. It has automatically generated based off of my photograph. You see, it has legs and arms and all the things. I'm not going to customize it too terribly much, but what I might do is just put a different wardrobe on. So it has a variety of options, like this one, obviously. I'm just going to stick with like a nice long jacket, because I think I can use basically that torso and the length of that jacket to cover the fact that there's no legs in Mozilla Hubs. We'll find out. When I'm done customizing, you know, I can do other things like change my hair, or change my facial hair, change my eye color, change all sorts of things. So we'll leave that there. Hit enter hub, and it's not going to prepare my avatar, but it is preparing it as a ReadyPlayerMe avatar. So I'm going to have to then choose how I want it to be used, like what platform I want to use it. You can already see that I've used Mozilla Hubs before, so I'm used to using it in Mozilla Hubs. If I go find this guy I just made, let's see. I think I have to add him. Edit, maybe? I don't know. Thought I had this down. Because if I just make it in Mozilla Hubs, it's going to send it to Mozilla Hubs, but that isn't going to help me right now. Well, we try create new avatar. Ahaha. So in the Mozilla Hubs area, which is basically their different apps. So you can go to Discover Apps on the left, scrub through, find Mozilla Hubs, and view that app. And you can connect the avatar to that app, which means then in your avatars section, it has a Mozilla Hubs section. Cool. But we see that this guy is not in our Mozilla Hubs section. So I'm going to say create new avatar, and then it's going to list all the avatars that I've built. Here's the guy that we just built, so it's connecting over to Mozilla Hubs, and it's basically now putting it to the Mozilla Hubs rig, or default rig, which is great. Give it a second. Hello, folks in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me, very important, and if you can hear some music in the background, because that's something I'm testing on this stream. So now my avatar's been connected over here, and you see he is just like a bust of himself. So if I download this avatar GLB file, I could just take that over to Mozilla Hubs, but again, I would just have a head and a bust and then my hands on the stream. So I'm going to save it for now. But if I look back over at the ReadyPlayerMe area, they have those full-bodied avatars. So I'm just going to go ahead and also download that avatar GLB so that I have both, just so we can take a look at them inside of Blender. Now I can only have one little helpful window up at a time, so I'm gonna have to take away my screen sharing and then put it back. So bear with me for a second as I stop the screen sharing. I'm in a box. The illusion is broken. And now start screen sharing and go to Blender. At some point, I'm sure I'll get smoother at that. But for now, we are inside of an empty Blender project. And if I import a GLTF or GLB from where I downloaded it, I can go grab the Mozilla Hubs avatar that I just brought in. It's on wireframe right now, so we see everything, but let's look at our rendered view. Cool. And that's the guy. And don't worry about the spikes coming out of my eyes. That's just the rigging of where my eyes are in Mozilla Hubs over top of where the eyes are on this avatar. But it is so cool that from a photograph and 30 seconds, we have a rigged and ready avatar to go work inside of a very specific platform, and we could have taken it to other platforms. That's amazing. Anybody who's done this before, that's amazing. However, we do see that we're stuck with this kind of bust and head that's kind of floating in the air. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this mesh. And the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this bust that's just going to kind of follow my head around everywhere by going into edit mode. You can now see all the vertices of my little guy. And there's 3 different types of edit modes: vertex select, edge select, and face select. And for my needs right now, I'm just going to select face, so I can kind of go quickly and highlight, X, delete, highlight, oops, X, delete. And I'm basically just deleting the shirt to get started here, which is helpful. Just so it's not gonna follow my movements around and possibly interfere with, you know, if I start tilting my head and stuff, it's gonna like poke up through my body, which is never good. If your clavicle starts poking up through your body, you should call someone immediately. Not me. I won't know what to do. Have you tried your vertices? Please delete your vertices as quickly as possible. So here we start making a decision. Do I want to keep the neck, which is also going to follow me around, or do I want to kind of cut it off at the head? And this model is a little more difficult because it has hair, longer hair. So the question would be, I'm going to like get around the hair a little bit. I think for the sake of what we're doing, I'm just going to basically cut him off, be it like truly a floating head, not even try to sell the illusion of a neck. Just gonna go a little faster. I can be a little more reckless. Which, have you met me? Quick and terrible. Good. All right. And yeah, this can take a while, but like, you didn't have to rig this avatar, which, let me tell you, takes a lot longer. So feel free to get really detailed. And you could, you know, customize the avatar at this level a little more. You could decide you want to change something about how it auto-generated your face or the coloring or the texturing, or I could have changed the pattern of the shirt. So instead of it being a white shirt, it could have been like a Hawaiian shirt or something. The world is your blender. Cool, but we're starting to see where it distinguishes from my face. I'm basically choosing what this hard line is going to be and getting rid of anything I don't know or I don't want. And this is just repeatedly using highlighting the faces, hitting X, and deleting the vertices. Highlighting some faces, hitting X, deleting the vertices. Not very advanced stuff. Cool. So now where it collides with the hair, it gets a little more difficult, but this is where it's actually lucky that the shirt is bright white, because I can see it stand out from the rest of it. It's a pretty good neckline. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Now, you'll see these like lines that are just kind of ghosting around what we just did. That's because there's still some specific vertices, like individual vertices, still laying around, but they're not connected to anything. So I'm going to move from the face view to the vertex view. And now you'll see all these little constellation of dots that are just still hanging out. And same thing, highlight them, X, and delete. Let's see here. This whole video so far is 12 minutes, and I like introduced it, I did the ReadyPlayerMe, so like we're still well under half an hour just to quickly create our own custom avatar that is rigged. Like, I cannot stress that enough. So cool. And this works on other platforms. You could do this for VR chat, Live, Altspace. I don't know if they do it for big screen or not. Do. Cool. And I could get very detailed about this, but I promise I won't. I won't worry. That's why I didn't choose an avatar that I really wanted to play with. I won't get down the rabbit hole. Cool. So that's not a thing. There's a few residual ones still in here that I could really get in there and start looking for. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to say, great, I've now removed the bust that was bothering us, and it is just a floating head and hands. Cool. Well, but now what? Well, technically, we can grab, if we go back to object mode, we could grab any 3D object and just throw it in here to make it the body. So I'm going to import, I did this with Michael Moran and Ari Tar on a stream where I, the first thing I had was the boat from Jettison. And so I just I made his boat, his body the boat. So we'll see. Here's the boat. Hit S to scale it down. Scale it way down. Scale it down again. Yeah, that's a little more proportional. Cool. And then rotation. Just going to rotate it straight up and rotate it around. And we've affectionately referred to this type of avatar as Boat Boy. But if you see, if I bring it forward, it starts to almost buy the illusion. I wonder if I take the point, actually. So let's rotate it the other way. You know, because I want this to be a realistic looking boat boy avatar, obviously. Let's see. There's that. Line that up a little better so it's not a thing, right? That is his body now, and it could follow him around once I link the shape keys. But I think that doesn't necessarily look cool for today. Like, that was a fun thing to do on the fly, just to be like, and Boat Boy. But if you all want me to release Boat Boy, I can and will. So we'll just get rid of that for now, because I don't think Boat Boy is what is going to get us where we're going for today. So just get rid of this. Why must everything be hard? I just want to select it and delete it. Thank you so much. Now remember, we still have the full IK full rigged avatar. We just can't use it in Mozilla Hubs, but he had that nice jacket that I thought might cover up the legs. So we'll just now import the other GLB file that we downloaded. You can immediately see it's much taller, it's rigged very differently, even the placement of the head and the sizing of the head is very, very different. Just kind of like riding myself like a horse, obviously. But when I click on this, these are independent assets that are on top of him, right? There's his general rig, and then there's his jacket, or rather his torso, and his jeans and boots. So what if I just take the mesh from this jacket and basically put it on our guy? Not bad. So I'm going to highlight everything other than the jacket and delete it. And now I just have this cool jacket, which is very theatrical. And I can kind of line this up to look like he's wearing the jacket. It's a little forward. I'm trying to get that in there. And his head will still float a little bit. I actually think the scaling might even be off a little. Shrink it down a touch. Yeah, it's looking a little more proportioned. Cool. Now, obviously what is going to become, what I think could be a problem next. What's up, G Money, Man Money? Is that how you pronounce it? Is it a family name? Good to have you here. We're customizing an avatar from ReadyPlayerMe for VR. Well, could have been for VR chat, but we're doing it for Mozilla Hubs. The problem we run into now is he has basically two arms, because his hands are going to move independently with the VR controllers, but these arms are always going to be at a T-pose. So we're going to use our same trick that we got rid of the bust or the collar or the shirt by knocking out our sleeves, and hopefully right along that seam so it just looks like part of the jacket. It's going to be more of like a sleeveless vest jacket, because that's awesome. So back into edit mode, and look, it's our vertices again, and we can highlight them and delete them. Just get rid of them. There we go. And lower down on the sleeve, I can be a little more reckless with this. And then as we get towards the seam, I'll get more specific and particular about how I want it. And do the other side. Cool. Not bad. Now go back into that face mode that I had before. Face mode. Or am I a teacher? Not officially, not formally, but I am into knowledge sharing. Many people have shared knowledge with me, and I share it back. So yeah, we're all out here on the internet just helping each other. So I'll take it along this seam here, and again, just using that same face select method we did 10 minutes ago to get rid of the shirt. We're just going to cut it X, delete. That looks nice. That looks nice. We're doing it. It's almost like we meant to. Cool. And now we get into, like, you know, the designer in you, your inner Kanye for your fashion line. Where do you want that overhang, or do you want to just cut it clean? I'm going to cut it clean just to have an absolute flat edge. See, so from a distance, that's starting to look really nice. Come over here, clean up this edge. And I'm just holding down Shift and then clicking these faces, which are triangles, until I kind of get all the ones that I think I see, and then I hit X and delete. And the armpit. Dude, you've got something in your armpit? I didn't want to mention it before. I don't want you to feel awkward about it. Happens to us all. And there. Cool. Clean edge. Nice. Now we can go back to that vertex mode instead of face mode. And see, we still got some of these little guys hanging out over here. So just get rid of that. Let's look at the other side. Pretty clean, pretty clean. Awesome. Now, obviously, he has a gaping hole in his side, which, if the whole point of this was to try to break the uncanny valley and have more of the illusion of a proper avatar human, having two giant holes in his side is probably not a great idea, but we can fix that by filling these in. So 3 at a time, I'm just going to click on 3 of these vertexes on that outside seam, and then hit F. Boom, filled it in. Boom, 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 fill it in. Boom, 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 fill it in. Here we go. We're doing it. And filled in. And I am not taking any time to stress about how this is kind of, I'm just filling in triangles as they seem to come to me. This could be done much more purposefully. For a much better mesh, you could actually figure out how you wanted this textured. And the reason for all this is that the way that it's been UV wrapped was not meant to do this, so it's gonna look weird when it tries to apply the texture material to this. We could go into like unwrapping and rewrapping and all of that, but for now, I'm just gonna assume that most people looking at this from a distance are just gonna think it's a cool part of the jacket. Or at least that's what I'm gonna tell myself, so that I don't spend another half hour on this. So, flip around to the other side and just get something done quickly. So often I feel like we come up with all these excuses for why it's not ready, rather than just being like, you know what, it's not like it's ever gonna be so amazing. Oops, attached to the wrong vertex. Davidson Voorhees is a cinematographer who talks about the 80-20 rule, where it's basically he can get it like 80% of the way there, but then that final 20 is going to take so much time or so much budget that it's just not worth it. Like, he's never going to have that time. He's never going to have that budget. So he'd rather get something 80% of the way there than not do it because he can't get it 100. And I think that's a really empowering way to look at the world. Is just to go, you know what? I got close. And I still got to do the thing. And it's more important to do the thing than to worry about, is it absolutely as pretty as it could be? Because also, if I wanted this to be super, super pretty, there's some amazing 3D modelers and riggers that I could work with and hire and send some budget their way. And I have done that before. But for this project, or for your project, you might just be like, I just need something so I can start prototyping and playing. So boom, we've now sealed that up. That is a single mesh of the jacket that is armless, and we've hidden the fact that we don't have a neck. We could have kept the neck in there, and it maybe might have sold the illusion. I'm not sure. But at least we know that this head will move completely freely of the mesh of this body. And I'm just trying to kind of figure out proportionally what looks correct. I think I want to move it up slightly. Does that look weird? How do people wear jackets? All you people that don't live in a warm place. Yeah, and again, what we're going to get into here is I could take the time to stress about the fact that his hair is clipping through his collar, which is not great, but this is a free model and it's working and it looks good enough. Maybe it's that the jacket's too big still. I think it come down a little in size. I feel like that's where his shoulders, I don't know. I feel like that's good enough for what we're doing right now. Now comes attaching this new body to the rig, and this becomes extremely important. So if we click back on our head, which is kind of our overall avatar, let's see, can you see that from where you are? Yes, in the hierarchy, avatar root. And if we click, I'm not used to having it this small. Where are my groups? Pose? No. Where did you go? It's not under hubs. Oh, is it in his shape keys? His rigid? No. Where did I? Maybe it's in this root node instead. Okay. I can't just parent it. Motion path, visibility. Somewhere in here, it should be listing. Oh, am I just not onto the right thing? Of course I'm not. Or did they look different because of how small Blender is right now? I'll bet you it's that. Never change your workflow to stream. It's a terrible idea. The armature. Yes. Here we go. I had to go down to the armature and the object data properties under the armature. Cool, cool, cool. And now we have what are called vertex groups and shape keys. The shape keys are the ability to actually, like, you can do some really cool stuff with making, moving between basically two points of the mesh. So like a smile, you know, the mesh is set here at 0, here at 1, and you can basically decide how much of it to give between 0 and 1. But the vertex groups are just these bones that are underneath, if I hide this, right here. So what I want to do is attach that jacket onto one of these bones. So back with our armature, vertex group I want is, I like to put it on the hips, but we can also do it on the spine. The music that's playing right now has some sort of like a guy talking in the background, and I keep thinking there's someone behind me, or there's like someone outside. So we need to go into edit, because we're going to edit this. cool. And when we go into edit, you'll now see that when I click on the vertex group, hip, spine, neck, head, I can select, remove, or assign it. So what I want to make sure I've done is, I need to see this. I also need to, okay. So first, backing up, this is when I would cut if I was recording. I've made the jacket and our avatar as separate things. I'd like them to be linked in some way because I basically need to attach this to the spine. So I'm hoping with the mesh selected, I can select and assign. Select all the vertices assigned to the active vertex group. Assign the selected vertices to an active vertex group. So I'm assigning that mesh to the spine. Now when I export, if that worked, it has assigned, my head is attached to the head bone, so wherever the headset moves, it will move. But my body is attached to the spine, so it's not going to move up and down with my head. It'll just move where I locomote, and it'll try to predict which way my body should be facing based off of my head and my hands. I'm going to see if that worked. Go to File, Export, call this Avatar Test Desktop. Export. Cool. It's thinking, because I'm doing too many things with my computer at the same time. Great. Now, I'm going to switch out the screen that is there to be able to go test it out inside of Mozilla Hubs, which is a free browser-based virtual reality software that you could use right now as well, going to hubs.mozilla.com. So to do that, I have to disable the screen sharing. I'm in a box. Stop screen sharing and go to hubs.mozilla.com. I'm going to go into my dumpster fire room for the holiday, basically for New Year's. I held a dumpster fire party. Join the room. Accept. Enter the room. And mute the microphone. Cool. Nope. Need that. Get Blender out of the way. I really need like a second or 20 more monitors. That would be great. Chrome tab. Give me this. I think it worked. Hooray! So this is a dumpster fire scene I made for the New Year's where people could come in, use their mouse to click and drag around, or use their arrow keys to walk, and they could just grab a 3D object, tell a story about it, and throw it in the dumpster fire. Awesome. But I am currently this little default robot avatar with like a pixelated texture. When I look down at my feet, I can kind of see my torso. And I want to change my avatar. So I'm going to go to More, change name and avatar, change avatar, hit the plus, custom GLB, and in my desktop, I'm going to grab this test avatar. Boom, there he is. So we see he's come in. If I zoom out, the hands are there. And this should be rigged and ready to use. So call it trench coat sleeveless one. I don't know. It's now going to upload it to Mozilla, set it to my account that I can now use it anytime I log into any Mozilla Hubs room. Then there's one more cool trick that I want to try for testing it. In all of my avatars that I've ever uploaded, I can right-click, copy link address, and I've accepted the avatar, and I can look down and oh no, it's just kind of falling below me, but I don't think I assigned it perfectly. Because when I fly away, yeah, it's just kind of, it might be rotating with me. Hard to say. No, because looks like it's turned around. Yeah, I can spin freely. So, okay, I got to reassign that. But we'll finish here first with, in the chat, I can now paste the URL I've clicked from the avatar menu page. Hit this magic wand button, and it now puts it here in front of me so that I can just click on that to use the avatar. And that is my secret weapon to testing in virtual reality, because I now put on the headset, go into this same room, and I can just click on that instead of having to, in the headset, figure out how to change my avatar. And then I can check out the hands, check out the rigging, but let's backtrack and see if we can fix this rig. Oh no. I have to switch back. I have to keep switching between, because I'm not using OBS because I wanted to try something different. I have to fully screen share every time I want to share any part of my screen, but I can only share one thing at a time. So I have to fully disable screen sharing, change over to Blender, reshare, just Blender. Too many things. I'm trying to be too fancy. All right. So let's see what's up here. If I click on the spine, go back. Actually, first things first, take the outfit, Wolf 3D outfit top, and then click the avatar, Wolf 3D avatar. I'm gonna hold down Apple or Command so they're both highlighted. And I'm gonna do Apple J to join them. So now they are one mesh. What that should mean is that they're being operated by different bones, but they are technically traveling as one together. We'll find out. So now what should be true is, oh, I don't know if I should have done that. No, I should have done that. That makes sense, right? Dang it. Okay. Now, back within that, armature, because that's the most important part. Oh. I think there might be some residual stuff that came with the jacket. Okay, Vertex groups. Spine. Edit. Okay. Okay. So we've got our spine, and nothing is selected on the spine or the hips. So let's try holding down the shift. Oh no. Let's click our faces. Holding down shift so we can select all the things and just keep holding shift while we select new things. I think this is the issue. I didn't select all the things that I wanted to rotate with it. Now it's not two-sided, so I'm gonna have to go inside. Oh, I'm so dumb. I wonder if I can back up to before I joined these. I've done all the undoing I can undo. Oh no. Sweet. Let's just do the hips. Edit. Remove, select A, but I don't want it to actually be A. I'm suspicious. This is where the afternoon goes. But yeah, if I hadn't merged those, maybe this would be better. I don't know. I don't know. We're on a journey. Because I thought I would just do this fast, so I've not been saving as I go, and I can't back up. Now he's done it. Nope. Cool. Maybe I should have just made Boat Boy. It's far easier than the jacket. I don't even know what I'm selecting at this point. I'm already aware of how long this video has become, which means I'm going to have to edit it, which means I should have just recorded it. I should have just done it at my leisure. Then I could have taken breaks for snacks. All the things. Wouldn't have had to worry about my playlist. No, get out of here. All right, I don't care. I'm just going to say that. And if it looks terrible, if we're like, oh, that's terrible, we'll at least have confirmed that it was assigned. Assign, select, assign. Great. Now, export, GLTF. Try again. I do like that this worked with Boat Boy, and that as soon as I wanted to do it with something serious like a jacket, it has failed me. It's the best. It's the absolute best. All right, so now on the stream part, juggling. I'm going to stop screen sharing. I'm going to be in a box. Hooray. And switch back over to Chrome. Wrong Chrome tab. Switch to Chrome. Boom. Lovely. Lovely. Sweet. So now let's upload more. Change name and avatar. Change avatar. Create avatar. I just wanted y'all to see it twice, just to get practice. Upload, try again. Cool. Make sure it's called try again. I do like that there's a playlist underneath me this whole time. That is cool. What it makes me wonder is it going to separate it from if I downloaded a recording of this, would it be separated or not? I don't know if I changed or not. So right click, copy link address. You can see that, right? Can you not see the UI on my end? You cannot. So when you right click on the avatar, you copy link address, then you click on it and say accept. And then in the chat, you paste that avatar link so that it'll populate in front of you. I'm scared. I don't want to look down at my body. How bad is this? Equally terrible? Can't tell. Oh no. Yeah. Yep. I know exactly what I did. Great. So what I've now done is I've parented the entire avatar, the head, to the spine, or to the, yeah, the hips or the spine. So now my head is rigged to my hips. So it is down at my hips. So when I look down, the camera of my head is still floating above, but when I look down, I see my entire body. My entire body. So I need to A, start over, B, save as I go, you know, like a profesh. And then I basically need to keep the jacket separate from the head avatar so that I can parent the jacket to the hip bone and or the spine, and then leave the head where it is. Don't mess with assigning the head. So yeah, I think I'll get snacks and then try that again. But the principles are all here. It's just someone competent, not me, needs to be doing it. So we'll try that next. We'll see if a more competent me can take a pass at this. Cool.